The film follows the journey of a made-love therapist who has successfully overcome his addiction and leads a life free from lewd thoughts. He has also written a book about his experience in transforming his made-love urges into something beneficial. That morning, Peter received an attractive female patient who constantly tried to engage in intimate activities with him. Peter responded calmly and suggested that the woman read his book, which has helped many people overcome their made-love obsessions. After work, Peter returned to his apartment and found his two friends, Luke and Rich, there. Peter informed them about a party being hosted by their neighbor, Michelle, and invited them to attend. However, they declined as they had prior commitments. Deep down, Peter was actually interested in Michelle, but he hadn't expressed his feelings yet, unsure of his own emotions and considering the fact that Michelle was currently in a relationship. At the party, Peter encountered Charlie, Michelle's busy boyfriend who was always occupied with work. Later on, Peter stumbled upon Michelle in the kitchen, cooking. They engaged in a friendly conversation, and Peter complimented Michelle's cooking. He suggested that Michelle should consider opening her own restaurant, and Michelle was delighted with the idea. The scene shifts as Peter visits his parents. His father expresses concerns about Peter's seemingly distant relationship with women, questioning his made-love orientation. However, his mother reassures his father, emphasizing that Peter is only 30 years old and that she is inclined to support him in pursuing whatever brings him happiness. After returning from his parents' house, Peter heads to the publishing office, where his boss informs him that his book is selling like hotcakes and that he has been invited to a radio event for an interview. This news brings Peter great joy, as it will boost book sales and enhance the reputation of their clinic. As Peter approaches his apartment, he overhears a heated argument between Michelle and Charlie. Concerned, he decides to visit Michelle's apartment to offer his condolences and learns that they have broken up. Michelle shares her plans to focus on her career and open a restaurant. They engage in a comfortable conversation, and unexpectedly, Michelle kisses Peter. However, Peter stops her due to a headache and abruptly leaves, leaving Michelle looking bewildered. The next day, Peter wakes up to find his friends, Luke and Rich, already in his apartment. They invite him to play basketball, but just as they are about to leave, the doorbell rings and Michelle arrives to apologize for the previous night's incident. They embrace, but as they do, Peter pats Michelle's back in a fatherly manner, causing Luke and Rich, who were secretly peeking, to start speculating that Peter might be attracted to the same made love. After that, Peter went to play basketball with Luke and Rich. However, one of the opposing team players accidentally struck Peter in a sensitive area, worsening his condition and leading to his hospitalization. During his medical examination, the doctors discovered a benign brain tumor that had caused Peter's delayed puberty. However, they also informed Peter that this issue could be cured through surgery. Peter was overjoyed with the news, and the surgery was promptly scheduled. After his recovery, Peter moved back in with his parents. One day he stumbled upon a magazine featuring photos of women and experienced a strange sensation. He confided in his friends, Luke and Rich, who suggested inviting a stripper to help explore his feelings. However, when the stripper arrived, Peter felt no excitement whatsoever, leaving him feeling guilty for the dancer's loss of dignity. One morning, Peter woke up with an erection. He was very excited and felt ready to engage with a woman. As he stepped out of the house, he saw a package delivery girl with an open chest, which aroused him. When he wanted to tell Luke in the apartment, he saw Luke and his girlfriend only wearing underwear, and he felt strange and told them to leave. Apparently, Peter felt tight in his pants, so he quickly went to the bathroom to have some fun. Not just once, but multiple times whenever there was an opportunity. Peter told his friends about his attraction towards women. They reassured him that it was a typical response at his age. Upon returning to the apartment, Peter received news from Michelle that she would be participating in a culinary competition. He felt proud and happy for her achievement, but struggled to manage the awkward feelings when Michelle intended to hug him. During the therapy session, Peter's mind wandered off to made-love fantasies triggered by his patient's discussion about intimate matters. This caused significant discomfort for him. One morning, Peter found himself with a breakout of acne on his face. After consulting with a doctor, he learned that this condition was a normal physiological response. Upon returning to his apartment, Michelle visited him to bid farewell before her departure for the out-of-town culinary competition. While Peter was engrossed in playing games with his neighbor's child, he received a video call from Michelle. Excitedly, Michelle shared her experiences in the competition, including her encounter with Bobby. Michelle revealed that she was socializing at Bobby's house. At that moment, Peter was hit with jealousy and suspicion, although he tried to conceal it. The next day, Peter attended an interview at a radio station. Suddenly, his voice became deeper, which made him feel uncomfortable. After the interview, he visited his parents. His mother reassured Peter that the change in his voice was a normal part of development and that he would soon get used to it. However, Peter suddenly exploded in anger, accusing Brenda and James of treating him like a child. He yelled and stormed out of the house. While his mother was shocked, his father felt proud because Peter finally showed the rebellious attitude expected from teenage boys. That night, Peter received another video call from Michelle, who revealed that she had reached the finals and was partying at Bobby's house. However, once again, Peter felt disturbed by Michelle's closeness to Bobby and decided to end the call. The next day, Peter met with the neighbor's child from yesterday and expressed his concerns about his constant thoughts being focused on women, especially Michelle, who seemed close to Bobby. The child suggested that Peter download a dating app, believing that it could help redirect his attention from Michelle and alleviate his anxiety. Peter found the idea intriguing and began exploring women's profiles on the app. Over time, Peter became accustomed to dating and enjoying the company of many women he met through the dating app. One day, after returning from the clinic, Peter saw Charlie standing in front of Michelle's apartment with a bouquet of flowers. Peter informed Charlie that Michelle was out of town. Eventually, Charlie placed the flowers in front of Michelle's door and asked Peter to deliver a message of apology to her. Michelle returned and found the flowers in front of her door. She asked Peter about it, and at that moment Peter lied, saying that the flowers were a gift from him to celebrate Michelle's return from the competition. Michelle felt happy, and Peter invited her for a date. As Peter was getting ready, Rich called him and asked him to babysit his child, as Peter had promised before, because he and his wife were celebrating their wedding anniversary. However, Peter declined and prioritized his plans for the date with Michelle. The scene shifted, as Peter took Michelle to the famously hard-to-book luxurious restaurant. Throughout the date, Michelle kept talking about Bobby, causing Peter to be plagued by jealousy. Just as Rich and his wife appeared, it became evident that the restaurant was the one Rich had originally reserved. An argument ensued between Peter and Rich, leaving Michelle embarrassed and leaving abruptly. Peter tried to explain, but Michelle dismissed his words as nonsense, especially after learning about the flowers from Charlie. She decided to end the relationship with Peter. Frustrated, Peter reluctantly attended to a flirtatious patient. Just as they were about to engage in something improper, Peter's superior caught them in the act. The woman warned Peter that his actions could tarnish the clinic's reputation and lead to its closure. Peter apologized, attributing the issue to his personal struggles. In a state of despair, he visited his parents and had a conversation with his father, James. James expressed that men's issues begin during puberty and continue throughout their lives, depending on how they manage them. James suggested that Peter should show his true self at the seminar rather than the persona portrayed in his book. Peter felt relieved and sorted out his desires and thoughts. At the seminar, he presented material that contradicted his book, surprising the audience with his honesty. However, Peter received applause and appreciation from his readers for having the courage to speak truthfully. Days passed by, and Peter decided to confront Rich and his wife at their child's birthday party. He wanted to apologize for what happened at the restaurant. They accepted his apology and asked about his relationship with Michelle. Peter explained that Michelle had returned to Bobby, but he didn't blame her because it was his own behavior that drove her away. Rich's wife informed Peter that Michelle had won a cooking competition, and now she's a chef at Bobby's new restaurant, which was opening that night. She advised Peter to go after Michelle if he didn't want to regret it later. When Peter arrived at the restaurant, he saw Michelle chatting with Charlie. Upon noticing Peter's presence, Michelle asked why he had come. Peter apologized, but Michelle was still filled with anger. She asked Peter not to disturb her on her first day of work. As Peter was about to leave, his friend quickly stopped him, urging Peter to gather the courage to make a surprising confession. In front of Michelle and everyone present, Peter revealed the existence of a tumor that had delayed his puberty and had now been removed. He explained that the relief he felt was accompanied by confusion and an inability to control his teenage emotions. Peter confessed that he always felt comfortable with Michelle, but at that time, he didn't understand the meaning of love. He expressed regret for his behavior and hoped that Michelle could forgive him. After Peter revealed his secret, Michelle forgave him. She also realized her feelings for Peter and decided to break up with Charlie in front of everyone. Amidst the commotion, Bobby appeared and asked Michelle to kiss Peter publicly as an expression of their true love. They shared a kiss accompanied by applause from everyone present who witnessed this dramatic moment. A few years later, Michelle and Peter got married and Michelle is pregnant. Peter wrote a book for teenagers who are searching for their identity and becoming a man. Peter's parents look really proud and happy with their son, and the movie is finished.